I'm one of the strongest men to ever walk the earth.
I love Caesar salad.
Morning, Robert.
Boys, they're back in town.
The boys. Hey, buddy.
You know, when you do it like that, you kind of look like a little DJ, or what? It's a mixer. The guy who doesn't play stuff, but he mixes it, you know? Does anybody do that anymore?
I don't know. I don't know that kind of music.
They just push play now. I don't think anybody physically does it except Kanye. And then you got to
if it doesn't have cello in it, I don't listen to it.
It's got to have a fiddle in the band.
A fiddle and a cello and a cello and a fiddle and a fiddle and a cello and a G. Nice. How's your week?
Good, man. Good week. Not much going on, but lots happening now. Finally,
that's kind of there's some stuff. I see you had some. I was looking at your posts. You got some stuff going on.
I try and do something now. I have a little. I downloaded an AI app that I put the videos in it. And it chops it up. So like I always record training and stuff like that just to see stuff. And if goes good or goes bad, you want to see it. So I threw it in the thing, and now I have content for it because nobody wants to see like a 14-minute video of us no one wants to see that, but like a cut up shot of action stuff. It's cool. So it's helping me put content out there.
Nice. Go check them out on Instagram and TikToks. Yeah, I see.
I'm even more active on TikTok. Oh man, TikTok's actually been way better. I think I like TikTok better than the other stuff now.
I go shopping on TikTok all the time. My wife's like, "You bought a vacuum from TikTok?
For real? Was it a good vacuum?
It's coming in tomorrow. I'll give her a review next week. But it was like. It was $199 and it was off. It was half price. So I was like, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. TikTok, you haven't let me down on a couple other things. But she's all like, I can't believe you that stupid app. You're buying things off it. Looking at it in the middle of the night.
I've ordered one thing from social media when I was doing a bunch of YouTube content. I got I saw this ad, and it was like a floating electronic alligator head. And just the head, so it looks like the body's gone, right? And the commercial showed like this kid moving it, and it's scaring people. And I was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" So go down to the lake, So it was like $30 or something like that. I was super freaking excited, and it comes, and it's just a little piece of board with an alligator drawn on it. Nothing else, no controller, no connect, nothing. But it floated. It did float. The piece of board did float. Dang it!
You bought the thing off the cartoons on the back of when we were really young. There used to be Archie comics on the back of Archie comics. You could order like a little family, right? And you could have a family inside your fish tank. And what it was a little, I can't remember what they were, but they're just little floaty things. They weren't people. They were just like little shrimps, basically little shrimps. And they'd become a little package. You just get ripped off.
Yeah. I've seen those in a bunch. When I got to Archie, it was those little collection booklets. So I would get Archie 2, but it was like 3 Archies in a little booklet that were all sold at the front of the grocery store or whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't have the individual comics anymore.
That's funny. You get basically 3 books, right? Yeah, 3 books. Yeah, that's crazy. I was in Brea this weekend, and some guy gave me a little Jesus afterwards. It's in my car right now, but it was just like basically a little. It was. I'm like, I'd follow that guy because he's kind of funny looking. But
pick him on your dash.
I put him in the glove compartment because that's where you keep Jesus. But
he's in his tomb.
Yeah. But I thought it was funny. Somebody watched my show and figured that I needed Jesus afterwards.
Well, in 3 days, you should pull him out and put him on the dash.
Why on Halloween?
Oh, it's Halloween in 3 days. Oh no,
I
no,
think
I
it's
just meant
is it
because
the
like
28th day? It's the
that's
28th day,
how
right?
is it the 28th? It is the 28th. Halloween is in 3 days. But
But it's funny. This doesn't come out for 2 weeks, so
is it 2 weeks? It's not, it's 1 week, right? It's 1 week right now.
I mean, does it come out in 2 weeks or 1 week?
We're at 1 week.
Say,
Oh, is it because we
so,
missed one, right? We missed one
yeah.
because of my fault, and then we're gonna miss
Whoa.
one because of your fault. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, it's coming. Well,
It's gonna be 1 week late.
this will be out on Tuesday, like a week from today.
So we'll all already be in a sugar coma. We'll all have diabetes from walking around, and yeah. Do you take
I'm
your
gonna
kids
do
trick
my
or
best
treating
not to go hog wild on Halloween this time. Like last
this
year,
time? This
yeah,
time,
Halloween's hard on me, bro. I go hard, but like
I'm looking forward to it.
I love. So
You got
last year, the people across the way who I love, we went trick or treating in another area and then went here late. And the people across the way gave us the end of they had 2 bags of Reese's, and
no.
that's like my favorite candy. Oh, I'm a Reese's-aholic, bro. Peanut butter and chocolate, and
Chocolate.
I ate every single one of them. Every single one of them I ate.
I think they were giving it to you for the kids, not you. But anyways,
He had a giant bag of candy. He didn't need
that's what
those
it.
ones.
Yeah, I was just trying to save my kid with a bit of butter and chocolate.
Trust me.
Do you guys don't hand out candy? You just take the kids around, or do you hand out candy as well?
We do. We did both last year. There's not a ton of kids that trick or treat anymore. Honestly, I don't know if it's just the area or what, but like when I was a kid, the streets were filled with kids trick or treating. Like
Right.
it was like you couldn't drive around over 10 miles an hour. Like it was packed. But here we get like, and it's a neighborhood, and we get like, I don't know, 10 knocks, maybe something like that.
Really?
Yeah, not that much. So what we end up doing is we put a bowl out and we go. But the few people that are into it, some of them are really into it, which is kind of cool. Like there's like super decorated houses, and I remember this old lady on the other side of town of the neighborhood. She comes out. She was like, her house looked like an In-N-Out. She was wearing an In-N-Out like the server's outfit, and she had like a tray, and she was giving the parents alcohol. Like she had shots and drinks and all this stuff, and then she had like all the really king size candy bars for the kids. And she was excited, and she was got to be like 80. It was cool. She was into it.
In-N-Out looked like an In-N-Out burger. That's crazy. We bought the king size candy bars for the kids, and we also bought small size. And I'm just like, we don't even know if we're going to get any kids. Like this is
How
our
many
first
did
year
you
in
get
this
last
neighborhood.
year?
Well, we just moved into this place in April, so we don't even know. So, and where we lived before, we got none. We used to live on a peninsula. It was a dead end. And across the bay is Naples, and they give king size candy bars over there. So nobody ever came to our area. So, but we'll find out. Maybe we'll start a tradition and get the news going on that we have king size candy bars down here.
Costco's got deals on those. Like they've got like the big bags of king size candy bars, or like they've got big bags of like all the little handout ones too. It was insane to see how like
we went to that other place. We went to that place, that red and white place. What is it called? It's I don't know. It's got a mop on the front of it. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's kind of like this grocery store outlet kind of place. I don't know what it's called, but we got the king size candy bars there. I've never seen that. And it's funny. My wife is, because we're having some people over. She goes, I gotta find death water. We need death water for Halloween night. I'm like, oh my God. Usually she's like, we're not drinking that, but it's Halloween, so we need the spookiest water out there. Death water.
Death water.
Yeah.
Liquid death.
Liquid death. Yeah.
Yeah.
Liquid death.
Yeah. We love liquid death. It is a crazy I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, we like liquid death.
Ahead.
No. Why? I don't know why I have to say the negative thing I think about something too, but like we're on a podcast. I don't need to say that. It's not like a private conversation. I have to insult a giant company like Liquid Death for no reason.
That's so funny. Well, you said something. I better say something bad about it. Liquid Death.
We do drink it all the time. We love Liquid Death. My son gets excited because it looks like a beer.
That's a great giant beer. Look at me, Daddy. I'm drinking a liquid death. Let me get crazy.
I remember his football games. He would like his other kids would like check it out to see what it was, and he'd get excited to have it.
That's so funny. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that guy. He's crazy. I think I like I like it because it's in cans. I like that it's in cans.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's the nice thing too. It makes it worth.
We like the environment. We like, and it tastes better in cans. Water tastes better in cans too.
Yeah,
like and people click it off right now.
It shows you too, like people say, like people don't want to pay more taxes to help people or pay more money for things made in America or whatever, but people pay almost 3 times as much for a canned water, and it's one of the most popular waters out there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So. People, I think people, if there's an effort put into something, people will buy it. But the problem is when you start something out, the goal is to sell it to like a corporation, and basically everything's lost after it's bought by a corporation. Like, have you been to? When was the last time you're in Whole Foods? It's nothing like it used to be, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. There's so many companies over the last however many years. I remember just being like, oh wow, they're in Walmart now, or they're in this big store, that big store, and then it's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it is.
Yeah,
this is a very water heavy episode.
This is what you need a bigger jug. Look at that, big jug. And Robert's not a small man, so that jug's even bigger than normal. So that's what's crazy because it looks big.
It's a good sized jug. I think it's 3 gallons.
I got one of these. I got a path water. Do you drink that?
It disappears. There you go. You got to hold it in front of your face. It disappears in the
it disappears into
robots that you have running our show. When you hold
it disappears into me.
Into me. They say you rent it, you don't own it.
You let it out. I release it back into the wilderness.
Yeah. Then
I'm watching this thing outside, so I put this this kind of bin thing, like it's kind of like a you put your lawnmower inside it, and you put your stuff like that inside it. And it was on our property when I got here, and it's in good shape. So I put it out front with a sign saying free, and I've been watching people look at it, but nobody's taken it yet. It's got to go. I'm hoping it goes within 24 hours, but it might take 48 hours.
It's a bin or like a shed, or like what do you
like saying? A shed? Yeah, a shed, like a shed, like a tiny shed, but almost a big kind of shed, right? So I'm waiting for somebody to take it, but it's funny. People just come up and look at it. Oh, well, maybe we'll come back and get it. I'm like, come on,
they had their truck.
Yeah.
I love that kind of shit, bro. That's how I furnished my house until like 2 years ago.
Until 2 years ago, when everything was furnished. When everything got furnished, that's when I stopped furnishing it.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I remember getting a couch that way one time, and it was just covered in fleas and gross, and then the whole house was covered in fleas. But like you had 5 people living in a house, and so everyone gets it.
That's funny. Everybody got scabies. It's a lot of fun.
We bombed. We were living a block from the beach, though, so we bombed the house and slept on the beach for a night, so it wasn't that bad.
Oh my god, where was that? That was that up in
Santa
Monterey
Cruz
area, Santa Cruz, Monterey,
yeah.
Santa Cruz, Monterey, right?
Monterey Bay, yes.
If you want to be fancy, it's Monterey. If you want to be with the people, it's Santa Cruz.
Well, actually, it's like Santa Cruz and Monterey are 2 different places, but like it's the Monterey Bay's the area is like it's super famous for like how deep and cold and aquatic it is. Like
it's funny that
how deep it is.
We bring that area up and today we have a guest on, and his name is Paul, and I'm not going to say his last name until he comes in because it's going to be tough for us to. Paul, it's Paul.
Give it a try, and then let's ask him how he says it.
Calamacarian. Calamacarian is how you say it, and I some people they're disrespected when you have trouble with their name. I think it's fantastic. I think when you have a tough name, it's fantastic when you keep it because so many people just shut it down. Oh, my name's Paul Cal. Instead of Calamacarian. Like I think I totally respect when somebody has a tough name to say. They're in some sort of business like this and they keep it because it's just I don't know. Estevez. Emilio Estevez kept the name. The rest of the Sheens didn't. So that's, I
What
like
were you like before Bagalinsky, or like what's long for bag?
it. Baget. No, what for
Bag it.
bag it.
Like baguette.
Quit
It
being a bag.
depends on the inflection, bro.
It all is a defense.
What if
It's
you were a
funny.
bagger and people in like way back when you used to like bag people's like meats and stuff like that?
Groceries.
That's
Yeah.
where it comes from.
I'm guessing it means we used to package things up. I'm guessing
Yeah.
that's what it means. But at the same time, it just might have been our family was just old back in the day, so they're just old bags kind of thing.
Old bag.
I don't, but it's a funny name because people almost they stop. It's like some people stop when they don't want to say it. They're like, oh, is it Bosch? No, no, it's just bag. Just bag. It's nice and easy. Is it bog? No, bog's worse than bag.
Yeah, bog's worse. Bog's
Yeah,
worse.
yeah. Bog is your smelly fermented people.
Even bag, like if you go further back to when it would have been made, the name or like held or whatever, that's actually like a really decent, good job back then. Like that was probably like cutting edge thing. Like you were shipping,
Yeah,
you were moving things. Like you were like the AI of the 1200s. You know what I mean?
right. I think it's Welsh is what it is. I don't know if anybody's out there and they know the
Ah, so
background
more
of
like
bag.
1900s then.
Yeah, so in 1959,
That was
that
a
was the
quick little.
good for you. Well, let's get Paul in here. Let's give him a talk. See what it is. Let's see what it's all about. Now that we've discussed water, let's discuss wine. We just discussed his name before we brought him in, and then we meet him for the first time, and he says, "My name's Paul K." So it's going to be much easier today. He's a wine expert. He sells wine, and he has all the knowledge of wine. He is going to have to deal with us two idiots today that have no knowledge of wine, and it should be an interesting time for him to really know his stuff and deal with us. Hey, Paul, how are you?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show. When I was in high school, it was 50 cents a letter to put your name on the back of the baseball jersey. And there was a home jersey. And so I'm like, no, I'm going with Cal. K-A-L is one of my nicknames, but Paul K, of course, makes it a lot easier.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it. Out of necessity, you're able to afford doing it. Did you play baseball? Did you growing up? Did you really play baseball?
It's my passion. I still teach it at my age. I actually coached Little League this year.
Awesome.
The old guy on the field with the gray hair, but it's just a passion of mine. It's a great sport.
That's fantastic. You must be thrilled. It's the end of October right now, and the Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays are going at it. Last night's game, they played 3 games and won last night. You must have been enjoying that.
I didn't even think about that. You guys are from Toronto, no?
No, don't put that on me, Paul.
Yeah.
I grew up in Canada. Toronto is our team up there. But I live in Los Angeles, so Anaheim is my team.
Can you imagine 12 innings or something like that with no score? I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was unbelievable how it's. I think it's interesting. They're kind of evenly matched. This team. Everybody just thought it was going to be the Dodgers just run ram shot right over them, and they're quite evenly matched. It's quite interesting.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Well, Ian, you'll love this. It's yesterday we talked about the Stanley Cup is going on now too. And yesterday I was like, I used to watch hockey. I played hockey, so I put it on, and I was like, oh, the NHL Network had one of the games on. And I was like, okay, I'll do this so I can tell Ian at least I watched one of the games, right? Watched for about 40 minutes before I realized they were playing a game from 3 months ago.
Oh no,
wasn't even worth it. So I'm not keeping up on baseball.
Yeah,
I'm not keeping up on hockey. I am not. I'm stoked the Dodgers are in the series though. That's awesome.
It's awesome.
Well,
it's fun.
The reason I bring it up, Paul, the baseball is somebody's going to win and somebody's going to have to spray champagne all over the place.
That's right.
A fella like you with the knowledge of wine, does that annoy you when they spray the champagne and waste it all over the place, or how do you feel about
that's an interesting question. No, I think it's champagne, of course, is got a kind of a bad rap to the extent that it's only for celebrations, and it's not. If you kind of talk to some of these French winemakers, they're going to say, hey, you should be drinking it every day, which I try to do. So just to make sure we support the industry. But when the Chicago Black Sox thing occurred in 1919, that was one of the complaints of the team, was that Kaminsky would give them the crappiest champagne that he could buy. And I thought, well, that wasn't fair. But no, I don't. No, it's not, I think it's great. I think it's important that they use it for celebration, but it is for regular consumption. And I taught my son-in-law this, which is not a good thing.
Why is that? Why is it? Because he's drinking it every day? He's coming over and drinking it?
Yeah, I sold my company 3 years ago, and I had this great collection, and I brought it home, and then the fires occurred here in Southern California, and they got displaced, didn't lose their house, but they're living with us, and my depletion factor is about twice as much as I expected.
He seems to be celebrating, even though he's no need to
Yes,
celebrate.
that's right.
That's fantastic. What the difference between champagne and sparkling wine is champagne is a region of France, and everything else is just grown elsewhere and turned into something that looks like champagne, right?
That is absolutely correct. It's also, they also call method champenois, which is a methodology of making champagne or making sparkling wine. So in America, we make many, many sparkling wines, and we use the French method in many, many ways in many places. But there are three typical ways to get bubbles into wine. The champagne method is the most desirable, I guess. It's the most expensive as well. But yeah, it's a piece of ground. It's real estate.
What is the method? That method, is it fermentation?
Yeah, so it's fermented in the bottle. So they make the wine, and then they put it in the bottle, and they add more yeast and more sugar, and then they cork it. And this was invented like in the late 1700s by Madame Clicquot, actually. And the bubbles are generated. They have no place to go because CO2 is created during this secondary fermentation, and it goes back into the wine. And they've sealed it since then. So there's been all kinds of methodologies along the way, but it creates the little bubbles that people talk about, the tiny bubbles that we want in a champagne. Tiny bubbles, tiny bubbles.
Yeah. Who's that? Is that that's the guy from Hawaii, right? That sings that song.
That's right.
Yeah. La Marca, that's a prosecco. Is that what's the difference between that and a champagne?
Well, prosecco is Italian based. It's from the north. It's different grapes. There's only 3 grapes in Champagne, France, that you can grow to put in the wine. Prosecco has a variety of Italian grapes. It's an interesting thing. There are some really, really good Proseccos, and they're typically not made in the French methodology. They're made at what they call Charmat, which is like a bulk process, but there are some really good ones that you can find, and they're much more reasonable than Champagne. The thing about Champagne that's interesting, I'm glad you brought it up, is we think of this romantic beverage and this for celebrations and anniversaries and parties. Do you know that Veuve Clicquot, the famed gold label wine, they make like 25 million cases? I mean, you think that this is like this little boutique thing, in this little sort of village in France, and it's not. It's just a giant operation. We were just there, actually.
It's General Motors of wines.
Yeah.
They're just pumping it out. You say you were just there. Did they invite you over because of what you do? Do you go there because of what you do? How does that work?
Well, you're going to like this. I sold 17 million bottles of wine personally through my company. For the 35 years, I tasted 100,000 wines along the way. And you would think
Nice.
that credit, yeah, it was tough work. Somebody's got to do it. But you think that credential would have value on the street, and it really didn't. It was just business. But when I started the podcast, and when I go to Europe and I present this card, or I call ahead and say, hey, I'm coming into town, I want to podcast with you, it's like the floodgates. It's
Really?
Still mind-boggling to me, the attention I get just saying we're podcasters. I'm hoping you get the same the same.
Well, we're going wine tasting, Robert. Get ready. Get your little spit cup out. We're going. That's how.
I don't spit it.
No, you shouldn't. Well,
Really?
I would get through. I would get through about 65, 75 wines in a day when I was tasting regularly, and even spitting, it was like, wow.
Right.
I'd come home, my wife's like, I want a glass of wine. I'm like, well, I don't.
Yeah.
But you do say you shouldn't spit it?
Well, I have to for a couple of reasons. One is you can't, You can't drink that much wine, but it helps understand the character of the wine by getting on all parts of your tongue and oxygenating a little bit by swirling and sniffing and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not for in the general world of wine and sort of the intimidation factor. I'm not for, swirling, sniffing, and talking. I'm about the stories. There's some great stories out there, incredible stories of what's gone in this industry and how we got to where we're at. The ages, wine is timeless. It's they found a winery in Armenia that's 6,000 years old. And like they found the vessels and the seeds and everything. It's crazy. So I'm against this stuff.
Okay, interesting. Robert, you gonna?
Yeah, I mean, well, my old man tried to make wine one time. I remember he went and bought a big old wood barrel. We lived behind an apple orchard and next to a strawberry orchard with blackberries behind us. And so I think mostly what it was strawberries and then like a little bit of blackberries he threw in there. And
was it delicious?
I don't know what he did, his process. He was in a different place at that time. So like I tasted it when it was done and he drank like the whole barrel, but it tasted like vinegar is what it tasted like. It was like pure vinegar, but one shot and it was like stronger than moonshine. Like it was, it would mess you up. Like one like shot, you'd be pretty, drunk for like at least 20-30 minutes,
It's making me thirsty already.
Well, I don't know. How does that, is that I've heard like it is like when it comes out like vinegar like that, I can't remember what somebody explained to me what that means, like he did wrong, but like was that what like basically we were drinking something that it was alcoholic, or was that like a little different than alcohol? It was like like something, was that, I don't know, how bad was that for us, or is that about that?
There's nothing bad about it, but drinking vinegar, what they tell you to drink apple cider vinegar now anyway. But the vinegar part of wine comes from a bacteria that's in the air. That's why wineries are scrubbed so clean all the time, because it can attack anywhere. And so it's interesting because people always think that wine turns to vinegar with age. Only if that bacteria existed when they bottled it. Otherwise, wine just fades away and it gets old and it's not drinkable. But not every wine would turn to vinegar unless that bacteria existed somewhere along the process. So do you drink wine at home typically, or no? Or this rock gut stuff that your dad used to make?
I had that rock gut stuff for about a year, but I was only like 16,
Yeah.
And then when I was like 16 to 17, we used to, as probably as sacrilegious to you, but we would get Mad Dog 2020 and we would mix it with like Old English or like
that's delicious.
Liquor. Yes.
Yeah.
It was $3-4 and you'd be good for 2 days. You know what I mean? So
I'm not. It's an interesting industry. There's just two parts of it really. There's the fine wine collectors, the part of the wine industry that intimidates people, and Chateau Lafite, Rothschild, and all the fancy champagnes, etc. And then there's the stuff you see on the market that people just enjoy, take home, have a glass of wine, watch a ball game like tonight. And they're different. They're different. And I promote like this, like we talked about earlier, the stories. Like there's a story of a woman who I had on the show. She was 98. She was alive when her parents' chateau was overrun by the Nazis and literally shot up. They shot the paintings and destroyed the place. And that stuff's really interesting because wine has incredible history to it. And so that's what I try to do, is tell these interesting stories about what's going on. And there's a guy, by the way, in the Midwest right now, we're talking about rock gut, who's been trying to bring back all the pre-prohibition grapes that used to grow in America. They made wine out of dozens of grapes, none of which exist anymore. And this guy found some, and man, this stuff is really hard to drink. I mean, it's just not very good, but he's working on it. It's a very tough industry.
That's cool.
So
that's really interesting, Paul. What you say about the sitting and talking with the lady about all her family's vineyard and stuff like that. Do you also find you have stories with people that have just started drinking wine, like the newbies? Do you ever get involved with them on your podcast? Do you ever like find somebody that just wine just suddenly snuck up on them? Because correct me if I'm wrong, during the pandemic, wine really rose hardcore, right? It's kind of settled a bit since the pandemic, but people were drinking wine like they haven't in a long time.
I can tell you you're looking here, my studio, this picture over here is my father. It's a painting of him and I in 1975 at the wine shop. And yeah, we were killing it. And my company was the original Wine of the Month Club. I ran it for 35 years. And I saw the writing on the wall 2019, but then COVID hit and we were killing it. They were drinking anything I told them to buy, they would buy. And the average price went from $20 to like almost $100. Didn't matter. And I could tell them, hey, you should buy this. Oh, okay, we'll buy some more. And then not within the week that the lockdown was removed, it plummeted. And my wife and I
within a week,
like almost to the day, it was just tanked. And so, we decided we weren't going to slug it out anymore. So we sold the company soon thereafter. But yeah, there was a lot of people came to the table that hadn't experienced wine, that love wine, and I have many on the show that they had their what they call in the industry their aha moment. Like the moment they drank something, they go, "Wait a minute, this stuff's pretty interesting," and then they experiment more and more, and that's pretty common. But there is a generational issue right now with Gen Z. Millennials are getting older and they're starting to come to wine, but Gen Zs haven't, and so we are in a slump. That's why I sold. We actually, my wife and I were just going to walk away. And March 31st, 2023, just close the doors and say thanks for the run. But somebody stepped up and bought it. But in the meantime, the industry is really struggling. However, on the flip side of that, there are some very successful people in the industry that have come to grips with the Gen Z's position in life, like how they see life. And I don't know if you've ever dealt with them, but this woman, she started a brand called Whiny Baby. I mean, what kind of you have Chateau Lafite, Rothschild, and Veuve Clicquot, and then you got Whiny Baby. So you can figure that one out. And she just got bought by Gallo. I mean, and that's if you get bought by Gallo, you've done something.
You're doing something.
Yeah, you did something right. So
curious, what does it taste like?
The juice itself is satisfactory. Like if it's a wine geek kind of guy, I would say, it's not going to be something you age. But she's done some interesting things. She put a crown cap on it, a beer cap instead of a cork. You can peel the label off and write on the back who you had the wine with and who you shared it with. So I guess that's a Gen Z kind of thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. She's coming on the show soon, as soon as this purchase settles down. But so wine, it's kind of an interesting thing. You guys nailed it you nailed the question in that there's this dynamic about the newbies coming to the industry and the old guys that have done this forever, which I guess I'm one of those now, which kind of sucks. But
we'll say you're a newbie. You're a newbie.
I appreciate that.
So we're all in the same club, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. It's like whoa, but it's an interesting phenomenon, and it's not going to change. It's going to look, Snoop Dogg has a wine.
Also, I was gonna say it seems like it's pretty popular too. Like at least from the prominence, like in the store. If you gauge by where they're putting the wines, like I don't look at the sales or anything online, but Snoop's seems to be very popular. Man,
he's part of the group that the company that makes Snoop's wine also bought Dow out of Paso Robles for $1 billion. So there's money somewhere in this industry. Right?
Yeah, somebody's making some money.
And you brought that up at the market. Snoop Dogg always had that perfect position, eye level, middle of the rack, right?
Yeah.
And that's illegal in the wine business to buy that spot. You can buy it in, selling toothpaste or laundry soap, but you can't buy that space theoretically in the wine trade. Huh? Yeah.
Like for a lot of space here too, it's like the end of the aisle or has its own stand sort of situation for a long time, because a lot of companies they rotate out and stuff, but it seems like it just maybe it is the big money behind it.
There's
something
yeah.
Us guys
you can't buy it, but you're doing enough business with other stuff that they'll give it to you. Is that what you're saying?
Ooh,
yeah, that's probably a good angle to take. There's so many brands out there that you in order to get presence, if you're on the bottom shelf, you might as well forget it, right? That's the standard of anything. But in this case, It's $9.99. Same brand makes Martha Stewart Chardonnay, and they have her like in a jail sale in this on the label. So it's kind of
That's funny.
it's pretty cheeky, but it's pretty fun. It's when it's all said and done, there's a value to the proper glass of wine at the proper time, and it I believe it reeks of the human soul. It grabs the human soul. It's there's no other product in the world. You can make pineapple wine in Maui. There's Maui Blanc, but you don't feel anything when you drink it. It just tastes like pineapples. Glass of Jack Daniels, one of my favorites. It's not a connection.
Best wine ever.
Drinking to catch a buzz, But
I love that too. Yeah, go for it.
Right, it's like I'm having a couple of Manhattans tonight, probably.
Yeah.
But
I have a buddy that lives in Singapore who owns vineyards in Tuscany. And when
really?
I was in Singapore, and he's a chef. He's got like a couple books, and he's very popular chef and wine. What do you say, connoisseur?
Well, don't hold his name back. Don't hold his name back. What's his name?
Alex.
Yeah,
I haven't. I wanted to look up his last name.
What's his name?
Talked to him in like 2 years. Like, his name's Alex. But
That's such a good buddy.
Well, I stayed at his house for 2 weeks, so
yeah.
And I think
he didn't even know his last name. My goodness, you might want to find those videos online.
Yeah. Google him or something. So he has vineyards in Tuscany. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he pulled out some really, really nice bottles when I was in town, and it made me feel bad, honestly, because like I'll drink, like you coach baseball, right? So the best time for me I think ever for wine would be a warm day when you're coaching baseball and I'm sitting in the stands with a Diet Coke filled with red wine. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best wine time.
I heard that.
Is right there. Like a fruity red wine, warm. I'm not in charge. You're coaching. You know what I mean?
Love it.
But he pulled these like $30,000 bottles of wine out, this and that, and to me, I was like it felt so wasteful. I felt bad. Like it wasn't even enjoyable. It felt like so much pressure, and like, to me, I don't know if it's just because of the moment, but it didn't. Like, I think maybe it makes me feel bad too to even say this out loud, but I felt like I enjoy like a cheap, like cold, fruity red wine versus the ones that I had tried,
Well, it does come down to what you like. I mean, that's really what it is, right? I mean, people always ask, is a $500 wine, 10 times better than a $50 wine? No, sometimes they're not as good, but when I pull out a $500 wine, you go, wow, that's pretty cool, right? Mm-hmm. Even though it may not have the character that you expect it to, but no, it comes down to what you like. If you want Diet Coke, like, they're putting when China
it's
first
an empty can, it's all wine, by the way.
It's not Diet Coke in there. All right.
Yeah. No, you drink it or you pour it out, and then you fill that with wine.
Okay, so you're the Little League stand, having wine with the parents in the Little League game.
Yeah. I'm glad we clarified that too. That'd be gross if you mixed Coke and wine.
Sounds delicious. No, they do it. People do it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, more power to them.
Yeah. So I'm very emotional about it. I get very emotional about wine and telling the stories of wine and the people that are around it, the history of it, like your chef friend in Tuscany. I think his general position is going to be, I'm just passing through this vineyard. I have to leave this vineyard for the next person to cultivate and to grow the grapes and to make the wine for the public. That's their general attitude, is I'm just a steward of the land for a little while, and how fortunate it is to do that,
I had a manager, and his ex-wife owned, and her new husband owned Scarecrow up in
really?
And I was very lucky. I got to go there, and they took me on a tour of all the land, and the story of how they didn't change their vines and everybody else, and everybody else was caught the disease, and they didn't catch the disease. You know that story?
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. Yeah, it was a very tasty wine, and it was good. But that brings me to my next question. What is your best wine movie?
Wow.
It's,
You know, I'll tell you what, and I'm working on a couple of shows myself, which are not, they're more documentaries than they are shows,
Uh-huh.
and they are movies. But there was a show out. It wasn't a movie. It was a series called The Drops of God. You guys heard about this?
No.
It again, the subject is wine, but it's the periphery subject. The subject is sommeliers, which I think are boring at best in general, the concept of it. But this is a I think it's on Netflix or it's on Apple TV, but um, really great series. We binged on it. My wife and I just watched it. It's not because it was wine, it was just a really good story. Um, there's a movie, there's a lot of movies about, coming of age and going to, getting an inheritance and going to Europe and getting your grandfather's or your great grandfather's winery. Those are always fun. Bottle shock, is not the greatest explanation of what happened in 1976 when Americans beat the French in their own tasting. But I'm very close to Rex Pickett, who wrote um, uh, what happened to my brain? The one that the guy, no fucking, sorry, no Merlot, that guy. Uh,
Yeah. I
the
like, and please don't say sorry for swearing.
oh,
We're
okay,
big we're big swearers.
Sideways. The movie Sideways, which is a cult film on wine, didn't meant to be, but Rex Pickett is
Yes, yeah.
an author. He's a very close friend of mine. He's been on the show a couple times. If you read the book, you kind of go, "Real, this isn't a like a fictional a story. This is about him." And he'll tell you, I was a down and out writer in Santa Monica, and I couldn't afford to go wine tastings, and I would sit at the bar and wait for everybody to leave, and I'd get the open bottles, and the bartender would pour for me, and that's the story. That's how it starts, and it became this huge cultish thing. And you know that when that came out, I think it was 2000, 1989 or 88 or something. Wine sale, no, that's too old. 98. Anyway, wine sales for Merlot plummeted from that one line where he says no fucking Merlot in the parking lot.
uh,
Sales
Really?
plummeted.
that's like my favorite wine. Merlot was
Yeah.
like my favorite.
Well, you would have been way out of vogue in 19 whenever I can't remember the date it came out.
2000. Yeah, and that's funny. So it's funny. It seems like things like that affect wine more than like if somebody said no Volvos, somebody would have gone out and bought Volvos instead. Still, like, I'm
Yeah,
not going
that's
to buy
right.
a Volvo, but wine. People are like, hey, he's kind of right.
No
Um,
Teslas.
I think the movie that and I hope I have the right name of this movie is Sour Grapes,
Oh
and
yeah,
is it a movie? It's about the guy that was changing labels.
Rudy Kurwan. Yeah, he
Does
just
that
got
happen a lot?
released. Yeah, he was. Oh, it's a huge problem. I had a girl on the show named Maureen Downey. She's the world's authority on fake wine. I don't know if you know much about Rudy. I won't bore you with the whole story, but I don't know about a year ago, a friend of mine texted me a picture, and he's standing next to the guy in Singapore, and they had just had dinner, and he said that Rudy's palate was the most extraordinary palate of anybody he's ever met, and this guy's tasted all the great wines of the world. He said it was incredible how good this guy was at tasting and identifying wine. So he was right here in Arcadia. He's right down the street from me in the studio, and he was had foil on his windows, and he had formulas for the 1945 Lafite Rothschild. He had a formula, and now what they do is they put chemicals and they do whatever the spectrometers of the paper to check if a wine's real. They look at the ink, the chemical breakdown of the ink on the label to make sure it's from the vintage of when it's supposed to be. But it's a huge problem.
He
Huge.
doesn't still sell wine, right?
Well, my buddy made the proposition to him and said, "Hey, listen, why don't we create Rudy's wine brand, which would be his version of all the greatest wines ever made?"
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that a great
Wow.
idea?
That is a
That is
great
actually
idea.
a good
Yeah.
idea.
And Rudy said no, and this is very interesting. Rudy said no because I want to clear my name, and I want to own a vineyard in Burgundy, France, which is a very particular part of Burgundy, France, wine country. And there's no way that the French would ever give him a shot at a piece of land in that part of the country. No way. It's so
I
protected.
Don't you think? Don't you think people would, if he owned it, people would respect him more than if you still, if he doesn't really own it, you're kind of questioning what he's got going on, right?
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. It would legitimize the brand because it's from that piece of ground, and it's a very specific piece of ground.
Yeah.
But you know, there was at the time that he got busted, there was no, I don't know if it comes out in the movie because I don't think I've seen the whole movie. There was no methodology for the feds to bust him. You know, they could bust him. It was illegal. It's a felony to do anything like that. But they didn't have the resources or care. And it wasn't until
Right.
the Koch brothers, the Koch brothers,
Koch brothers.
yeah, yeah, the Koch brothers, pressed the Fed's arm to go after the guy.
Because they had a bunch of his, they had a bunch of it, right? Of the stuff they bought. I thought, you know, what's funny is it was the people in that the wine was brought interesting people together, and I was shocked and surprised how many people would not believe, and how many people would fight it to the end that no, this is real, this is absolutely real, and then people just saying, like you said, they were the taste of it was too close for it not to be real.
Well, if you think about it, like let's say you and I bought a 1945, the rarest vintage of.
All right, I'm in with you. We're doing it.
We're in it. It's probably, I don't know, $50,000, $75,000. And we open it and we're disappointed because Rudy made it for one. But
Right.
how could you not write it off to the fact that it's, 80 years old and it just didn't survive? You know, that's just the way it goes. But we certainly had a
Right.
chance to taste it. You would never know the difference. You couldn't tell. And apparently he was really good at it. What he would do was, because he was so good at wine, he would be invited to these very fancy events. And he would tell the somm that opened the bottles, "Hey, would you mind sending the empties back to my house because I want to just have a ongoing record of what I've tasted." Well, he actually was getting then the proper labels and the proper glassware and the proper corks to be able to copy them. So
Smart.
It's kind of a brilliant deal, right? Pretty
Yeah.
interesting stuff. So
Who have you? Can you tell us about the time you were scammed?
Scammed?
Yeah.
I would buy containerfuls of wine, and only twice in my career did I have a problem. 3 times happened. Once was I ordered some Italian wine. It was right in the period, probably early '90s, where there was a discussion that they were putting what the equivalent of antifreeze in their wines as they were using it to preserve it. So I got a wine here, a full container, which is 1,200 cases, 14,000 bottles, and I stuck the cork in it, and it went, psst, which is not a good thing, and it stunk like rotten eggs. And I called the guy. I said, "I'm not unloading this container. You're going to have it here. If you don't come get it tonight, it's going to be on the street. So you come get it." So they came and got it, and he agreed with me. The other one was a full truckload, another 1,200 cases from Paso, oddly, that got stuck. They didn't tell me this until I got the wine. Opened the wine up, 10 different samples, all of it really bad. It was a Zinfandel from a winery called Jan Chris at the time. Well, the truck got stuck on the 5 freeway for like 8 hours, and it was like 110 outside, and it baked it. And so it arrived, and I had packed a bunch of it. This is a very funny story. I tried to net it out. I packed a bunch of it. We caught it before we shipped it. I didn't pay the guy. Pick it up, get rid of it. Found something else. About 6 months later, a guy walks in. He goes, "I've got the deal of a lifetime for you, Paul." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Look at this wine. I can sell it to you for $1 a bottle." And I go, "Dude, I rejected all of this. This is the stuff that had baked on the freeway." It was back on the street being sold to somebody.
That's funny. For $1, you
For
can
a
have
dollar.
you can have this wine that you paid zero for.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Why does this is the last question, Robert? Do you have another question? Because we got to get them going.
Go for it.
Paul's been great for us to drop by and say hi to us.
I'm curious, Paul. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Just quickly.
I was born in Inglewood and grew up on the beach, Palos
Nice.
Verdes.
Nice.
Nice. And your podcast is called
called Wine Talks with Paul K. It's a YouTube channel as well as all the platforms, as you know. About 500 episodes right now, and it's getting some more traction, and because it really is storytelling and not swirling and
Love
stirring,
it.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
you seem very interested. I could sit around and have a glass of wine and then move on to some old fashioned
Well,
with
we
you.
should. If you're in Orange County, even though you're an Angel fan, it's okay. We can.
I'm in Long Beach. I don't. I'm a Montreal Expos fan. Is who I am, and they took our team away from us a long time ago and turned it into the best. They were the best. They were the best minor league team ever of all times.
That's such a specific type of old man right there.
Sorry, you got me. Well, before we wrap it up, I want to know why. Tell everybody, is box wine okay? Why did they come up with box wine? And is it just for people that can't afford a glass of wine? What is box wine? Because it gets such a bad rap.
The quality of boxed wine, depending on what you're buying, has improved considerably because there's a huge sustainability movement in the wine trade. Thinner glass, alternate packaging, cans. But I'll tell you, I had a guy on the show. He's a PhD at Cornell University, and his task while he was there was to create a food grade lining for a can that would last 24 months if you put wine in it.
Hmm.
And I thought, how disgusting. I mean, it just sounds disgusting, right? That he has to create something like that. But anyway, no, when you buy, let's say you and I wanted a bottle of wine from Argentina and we brought it over here on a boat, we would put it in a vinyl bladder. That's how you bring this stuff to America, to 20,000 liters. And then we would bottle it here. And so that same bladder material is used in a boxed wine, and the quality has improved considerably. And it partially because the movement for the wine industry to leave a carbon footprint that's less than it was. And so, yeah, you can do well with them. I think you can do really well. Canned wines, I've had some really good ones, and I've had some really bad ones.
I didn't
Be
even know
careful
they
with canned wines.
canned wines. I thought that was my thing.
3 liter, a boxed wine is 3 liters. That's what's that? 4 bottles of wine. So you have to be pretty thirsty.
You gotta want to sit in the field for a while with that, Robert.
Yeah.
Big box of wine. Thank you for coming on, Paul. Thanks for teaching a couple dumb guys a little bit about wine and telling people like us, hey, it's the stories. It's not just drinking the wine and getting all goosed up. It's the stories. It's about sitting around and having a good time with your friends. And you good luck with the podcast. You seem really interesting. I love it. And your last name ends with Ian, so I love it.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having the invitation. It was a lot of fun to talk to you guys, and I hope we stay in touch.
Nice, Paul.
Awesome. Have a great day.
Take care.
Dude, that whole time he was talking, my arms were like convulsing. I was like,
have you been training for arm wrestling?
Yeah, it's been training. I just did a bunch. I'm headed to England next week.
For arm wrestling?
Yeah, for arm wrestling. And
are you flying out of Santa Cruz?
They don't have an airport. You have to fly out of San Jose. No. No, I'm
there's a little
Manchester.
There was a little bit of the Santa Cruz knowledge for people. They don't have.
Damn it! He did it again.
Oh yeah, I love it. Okay.
But
so you're going to Manchester?
Manchester arm wrestling. I'm going to go to Titan House to work for a week. I'm getting good. I'm feeling really freaking good. I might take a match sooner than I thought. Not like a big time pro, but like a strong heavyweight guy. I'll think I'll take a match within like early next year. I did. I feel like I got way better over the last 2 weeks. Like I can actually really control a lot more in my group down stuff now. It's
so you're learning a lot from the guy you're training with?
I have like so I train with 4 guys now, and we rotate in another guy, but like there's these three brothers that look like they're made in a lab. They're Two of them look like Jason Momoa, like just carved, jacked, and the other one is the world record powerlifter for teens. So like he just
made it
20.
He made it sound like the third one was just going to be all the extra parts.
He does have extra parts. He's a bigger boy. He's bigger than the other boys. I'll tell you that. But they're like a shout out. They're the Schmidt brothers, and the three of them live up on the mountain. And we go into like this little garage hut thing they got with the table and a little gym, and they're big, strong kids, you know. So like it's been really helping me a lot having like that's why my arms are so damn sore. Like
that's so funny.
But it is.
Guys been working, guys. Santa Cruz's own going to Manchester.
All right, now that you said it a third, I feel like I'm going to explain it. Or no, I'm not going to explain.
No, don't explain it. Don't. Just let people know that Santa Cruz is fantastic. That was fun. He broke my theory though that keep your name.
You did a whole speech.
I just like instantly. I was like,
yeah.
Why would you do that to me? All right, see you next week.
I didn't know what to say. I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't give the speech before. I would have said the same thing and then not known what to say afterwards.
I was just like, I guess I'm gonna own this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna own this. So anyway, see you next week, bro.
Later, buddy.